Hey guys, welcome back to Trucking with Tavis. This one's going to be a little bit different. I've promised you guys throughout the other videos and comments that I was going to make this video. There's a lot of loads out there going to Alaska, a lot of carriers who are wanting to run up there, and they don't really have the info. I know I didn't, so that's what this video is going to be about. So let's hop into it. I'm mainly making this video as a non-CDL hot shot. Okay, I'm gonna try and keep this as quick as possible, but first I just wanna say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope this is some good info for you. If you guys are new to this channel, go ahead and check out my other videos. If you like, go ahead and subscribe. If you're new, if you guys are already subscribed and back to watching another video, I want to say thank you again. You guys have been awesome. I've been loving to just interact with you guys, and yeah, so let's just hop into the video. So first and foremost, what I would do if you guys are actually really interested in getting freight to Canada or up to Alaska is basically contact the CBSA for the Canada Border Service Agency. When I reached out to them, I got a whole lot of I'm not too sure about that. I don't know about that. I don't know. So this is why I'm kind of making that video, because I didn't get a whole lot of good info. Reach out to them, reach out to the CBSA. What they're going to tell you is this. Basically, you need to get a carrier code. Wrong. First, what you need to do is you need to get a business number, a Canada business number. That is the first step, guys. And how to do that is you go to the what's it called? Canada Revenue Agency, CRA. Reach out to them. You have to apply. I don't remember if there's a fee or not. I don't think there was. If there is, it wasn't much, but I don't think there was a fee to apply. And then after you apply, they'll say, well, it's going to take you, you get in line, and you just have to wait until you get to the top, and they'll, either approve you or decline you. Give it like a week, and if you don't hear anything like through a phone call or email back from them, call them back, and basically you want to get requested to get bumped up and have them either approve you right away or not. And they'll ask you what's the reasoning, and you just say, well, I'm a carrier and I'm trying to get freight delivered into Canada or to Alaska, whatever it may be. And they usually they got to me in the next day. You need to get that first, because in order to apply for the carrier code, you have to have that BN, the business, excuse me. In order to do that, you have to have that BN, the business number. It's like line 12 or something like that, I don't remember. And then you get that all filled out. You want to put that you're going to be a secured bond. That is, I'll get into that in a little bit, but you just get that application filled out, and it has to be mailed in. You can't email it. You can't do nothing electronically with the application. It has to be mailed in. If you're unbonded, then you can email it in, but as a freight carrier, you have to be bonded to transport in Canada. But that's the first and second step: the business number, the carrier code, and so where it can go along with the carrier code. That's about it. That's the first two steps. It should take about 3 to 5 days, maybe a week, to get approved with your bond. That's if you want to do that. You do not have to. A lot of people are going to tell you this. You need to get bonded, like apply for a bond or whatever, get to go through a bonding agency to get, like, the minimum's $25,000. Like, it can be less than that, but that's like usually the bare minimum is $25,000. So it's not cheap. But if you're not planning to run Canada all the time, this is what I would do, because it's what I do. Whenever you decide to do all this and then get a load to Canada or Alaska, you want to recommend this port, because I've had nothing but good experiences with this port of entry of all the ones I've been through. You want to go to the Coots, Alberta / Sweetgrass, Montana border, and they have a they have a bond agency there, a couple of them, and you just pay for a one trip bond, basically. That's all it is. And you, depending on how much, you know, the invoice on the freight and how much all that is, it depends on how much you're gonna be paying for a bond. My trip was $1,000, but I got $600 back of it because it was like part of the deposit. So I paid like $328 for the bond, which is all right. So business number, carrier code, and then the bond. After that, you don't need this step because they have it there at the port of entry. But if you plan on doing this, highly recommend, after you've reached out to this the CBSA or even the CRA, one of those two will send you what's called the e-manifest. I got 2 packets of this for free. They mailed this to me and I got it in a couple days. That's crazy. I got this all for free. It is the, what do they call this? The A8B form, the manifest form. You have to have this filled out. Fill out your tractor number, your trailer number, your port of departure, which we're going to be at, the port of reentry. It's like a manifest when you get for a load. That's basically what it is. It's just a manifest, and then it's going to have a stamp on it. If you get approved to go through, they'll stamp it, and then you have to stop at the Beaver Creek, or if you're coming back through to, if you're not going up to Alaska or somewhere in Canada, when you're coming back through, you have to stop before you get to the U.S. port and have them re-stamp it, and that's how you get your deposit back. So this is also important. So business number, carrier code, bond, whether it be, if you want to do this all the time, so you contact your insurance agency with a bond agency and it's just a big mess, or you just one trip bond there at the port along with the e-manifest. After that, you're good to go. It's pretty simple. It's just hard to find out all the information. So if you go to that CBSA, the Canada Border Service Agency website, and you go to it'll give you a bunch of options, and you want to go to the highway carriers option, and then you have like the non-bonded and the bonded, and you want to go to the bonded, and you got to keep going down to where it's like how to become a bonded carrier. And that's how the steps are right there. Break down the steps for you, but it's still somewhat confusing. And there should be an email address somewhere in one of those options. And that's the email that you want to reach out to. And that's how you get this bad boy. And yeah, then from there, you're good to go. Once you get past all that point, you want to, then as soon as you get in, hit the first scale there in Alberta and get your permit. As a non-CDL hotshot driver, you have to get permits in every province you go through, okay? Because you're not recognized in the IRP or the cab card, you're not recognized. So they gotta get their money somehow, right? They're not gonna get it through the cab card or IRP, so they're gonna get it through their permits. They're not very expensive. I didn't get one in Alberta. You can, outlaw it like I did through Alberta because I didn't know. Had I known, I would have stopped and got it because I like to do the right thing. So you gotta get one in Alberta at the first scale. From there, you're good to go. You might get stopped and pulled in at every scale because they want to see if you have the permit or not. Once you hit British Columbia, you have to do it all online. I have the card in my truck with the phone number and the email I don't know if it's email or the website. I can put that up in the comments or up somewhere on the screen right now, if you want that, or I can put it in the comment. It doesn't matter. I can put it in the description, the comments, or up here on the screen. Either way, I'm putting the information out for you guys. You have to call them and get your one trip permit. On top of that, you have to get, I don't know if Alberta does this or not, but I know British Columbia, they required a third-party insurance. Together, the British Columbia permit and third-party insurance was $123. I don't know if it's gonna be more or less for anybody else, but that's where you can expect for British Columbia. To add to the British Columbia, non-CDL hotshot guys, if you're under 26,000 pounds, it's like 11,000, I don't know, 11,900 or something kilograms. If you're under that, you don't have to run logs in British Columbia. Best part. That was fun to find out. I wish I'd have found out at the beginning of British Columbia. I found out towards the end. So, yeah. So permit online, you should be around $120 with the third-party insurance, which is required to run in Canada, and then no logs in British Columbia. Once you get to Yukon, you can switch over to the north of the 60-degree latitude. There's the south of the 60 latitude logs you can run in Canada, and then the north, which is for anything above the north 60-degree latitude. Get back in the logs for that, and then stop at the first Yukon in Watson Lake. Almost blanked that. Watson Lake, and get your permit there. I don't remember how much that was cost. It was under $100. I think together for permits, it should run you around like $250, $300 for permits. I don't know what Alberta charges. No idea. It's Alberta. It's probably high. You will get to the border at Beaver Creek, and you don't stop. They'll tell you don't stop at the Beaver Creek to get your stamp. You actually go to the U.S. port to do it. They tell apparently every carrier that, and the guy at the Beaver Creek for the Canada side he seemed super annoyed when I was like, hey, can I get my stamp? He's like, keep going. 18 miles up to the U.S. port, they'll stamp it. So you go to the U.S. port, you go in after they pull you in, check everything out, and you pull up. You go in there, they'll inspect everything, make sure everything's good. They'll stamp you after you pay a $14.50, or it's $15 basically. You have to pay a $15 like transport fee or something. It's crazy. And they don't take cash. So thank goodness my debit card worked, because they actually only take credit. I didn't know if my debit card would have worked as a credit card or not, but thankfully it did. But they don't take cash or debit. It has to be a credit card. So if your debit card works as a credit card, then you'll be fine. But if your debit card doesn't work like that, you better have a credit card or you're not getting through. After that, you get put into the Alaska logs. They have their own. Then you get to the first port in the first scale house in Alaska, which is right there at in Tok, Alaska. You'll get pulled in, but you don't buy your permits or your anything like that in Canada. Will tell you it's an Alaska permit, but it's not. You actually have to be registered. Your vehicle, your truck and trailer have to be registered in Alaska to run freight. As a commercial driver, you have to have your truck and trailer licensed, plated, and registered in Alaska. That's why if you ever see a truck with 2 plates, especially with Alaska or in the lower 48 plate, that's why. Alaska does not recognize Canada or the lower 48 registration. Did not know that. I thought it was a permit, so I passed the Tok scale. It was closed, couldn't go in, didn't know. And then I delivered my load, passed the scale in North Pole, Alaska. It was closed as well. And see, if I'd known that, I would have. If they were open, I would have stopped and I would have found out, and I would have gotten it registered. But as I was leaving, the North Pole was closed again, and then the Tok was open. So he stopped me, and he was like, where's your registration? And I was like, I do have a registration. It's this one. He's like, oh, no, we don't recognize that. We need an Alaskan registration. I was like, I did not know that. He's like, but you used to live up here. And I was like, yes, I did, but I wasn't an owner-operator truck driver. He's like, oh, okay, well, he's like, it's the weekend, so they're closed regardless. I guarantee you, if it was a weekday, he would have sent me back to Tok, to the DMV to get registered. But But he's like, you know what, you're only 90 miles from the border, so I'm just gonna let you go. Just expect you to have the registration for the next time. And I said, sounds good to me. So you gotta have your truck and trailer registered in Alaska. So the 20 bucks for the truck, 20 bucks for the trailer, and then whatever he said, 350 for my truck. So 370 bucks to be registered and run up in Alaska. So total for that, you're looking at my bond, $1,000, permits, 300, and then registration, whenever I get to that point, is 370. So you're looking at almost $2,000. And just permits and bonds and registrations. So those are the steps. It's about best I can give from what I went through and what I learned. Get your business number, apply for your carrier code, get a bond if you want a bond, or just pay for the one trip bond. You'll have to buy one coming back if you get a load back. You have to call the same bond agency that you got the first bond up. They don't have bond agencies up north by the border of Alaska. They don't have them up there. So you'll have to call I went through H&H Smith. I had a really good experience through them. It was great. Bond, your e-manifest, the majority of the times, if your first time going through, they'll kind of walk you through it. But you can get 200 of these bad boys for free from the CBSA. And then your permits, registration. I think I was saying, I don't know if I said this or not, but you can do your trailer online, but you have to do your truck in person. Once you get to Tok, they'll send you to the DMV in Tok to get your truck registration if you don't have it all done before you. Like, this is about the best I can, relay the info. Other than that, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. Part 3 is coming out. I have edited 2.5 hours out so far. There was 7.5 hours, something like that. I had to edit. I'm at 4.5, I think. So we're getting there. There might be a part 4. I might have to cut this video in half, make it part 4, and then a part 5 is just the end of the trip, me kind of leaving and going back. I'm gonna make that very, very, very short, because obviously it's the same thing, just the opposite. And I was empty, so it's just really pretty on the way back. A lot more animals. So it's the only reason I'm gonna make a part 5. The ending of that is going back home. So other than that, guys, thanks for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Stay blessed and God bless.